So you want to paint your trim. The holidays are here. And you want to save money. You don't want to hire somebody. Well, let me tell you a couple of ingredients for a good job. Number one, you want a quality paint. Okay. Now, if you want a suggestion, if you're in the continental USA, I suggest a brand from Sherwin-Williams. It is urethane enamel. Very good stuff. And then if you don't want to spend the money for that kind of a product, Lowe's and Home Depot have very good enamel paints, latex with primer in it. It makes for a good product. So the brush is the next thing. I recommend either a Wooster Pro or a Purdy medium stiff angle sash brush for this type of work, because it has the point to get into these corners. So what I just did, anybody can do. But now I'm loading up my brush, a 1/2 inch of paint on it. I'm getting the excess off right there because I'm going to dip into that and use it again. But now I'm taking the point of the brush. Look at my hand. Okay, my hand is not close to the filaments or the bristles. I want to be able to direct that brush's action with my finger on the middle of the stick. Okay. Don't worry about bringing too much paint to the trim. You're always able to get it off, but you can't get it on the wall. Now I'm dragging my other hand against the wall as I move, because I'm keeping my body balanced as I do it. You can put tape on here, but I'm going to tell you something. A lot of you use tape that's too sticky, and you're pulling off the paint, or in this case, wallpaper, after you remove your paint, after you remove your tape. And so I want to suggest to you that you simply avoid the use of tape and just use the skill of your hand. Now I turn the brush around. I went from the pointy edge forward. Now look at the action I get from here. Now, if you try to get this all done in one try, you're probably not going to do well, because the top of that is dry and you're putting on paint that's wet, and it's not going to grab all of those dry surfaces at the same time. And so you'll get the majority of it on the first pass. And then on the second pass, it'll be slick for the brush to drag along and fill in those dry areas. Let's inspect the work. You see those areas right there? Don't try to do it all in one pass. Now let's try again. While it's wet, we're going to do it again. Okay? Now if you feel comfortable with a smaller brush, fine. But it's going to take you longer. It's going to take you longer because you can't get a lot of paint on a smaller brush. So watch what I do here. I want to wet that edge, right? Okay. Look, I go like this because otherwise I can't do it. Look at that. Look at that. Look how gorgeous. Now, what am I dipping into? This is a Purdy bucket, you know? And they come with liners, and I have the liners, but I'm not using the liner. Okay? You don't want to bring a lot of paint up to that top. You don't need a lot of paint. So, it doesn't hurt to continue to put a good layer of paint on the fascia, okay? Now when we get to the profile, if you use too much paint, you'll get drip marks. And if you're new at this, you're probably not going to check until you see the drip marks and say, oh man, they're dry. Okay, let's get up there again. I got enough paint on my brush to get in there, just like that. I don't want too much paint here. Check this out, watch this. Look at that. Okay, don't talk too much. Now, the wallpaper is not perfectly straight there. Okay, so I'm gonna try to create the illusion of straightness. I don't like it. I brought too much up onto it. You can create a straight line by bringing paint up onto the wallpaper. And I'm only talking about less than 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 is way too much. Let me wipe that off. Okay, let's do it again. Not too wet there, look. Okay. See, it's a little choppy there, so you can do a nice job. You can create the appearance of straightness with white paint. But if you talk too much, you'll mess it up. You'll mess it up. How's that? Is that better? I think so. See how it's a little wavy? Okay. Another thing you don't want to do with this kind of painting is this. You don't want to do that. Look, if you do that, go like this. Go all the way to the end, push it in there, and go like this in one direction. One direction. See that? One direction. Make it nice. And then at some point, you have to be done with the fascia. Purdy, if you're listening, I don't like the magnet you put in there. My brush gets stuck against it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, so I go up to that bottom profile. And now my trim is done from this point down. I just gotta do that top. Okay, let's see. Now let's do this. Okay, so remember that when you're doing this, the top portion, this is the way I would suggest you do it. Okay, look close. Whoa, too much paint. Look at that. We're flooding that top part. Getting rid of all of those ugly areas where no paint has been brought. Look at that. See how you're training the brush to ride along the top there? Yes. Yes. Garage. Now. Okay, we're gonna push a little. Okay, now watch this. Watch this. Turning the brush around. Now watch this. You go in the other direction. And guess what happens? You get it all. See that? See that? You see that? Look at that. There you go. See that? Why does it do that? Because what you can't get while you're going left, you can get while you're going right. That's why. Okay. I'll show you what to do with that. It's uneven, right? So I'm going to show you what to do with that. Watch this. Notice how little of the brush I'm using to paint the edge. Notice how little. See? Okay, now I turned it around. Okay. Okay, now, what about that edge there? It's uneven. You see where it goes down, the white paint there? Well, the wallpaper goes down, the wall comes out a bit more there. I'm gonna take a straight edge and I'm gonna bring the paint up onto the wallpaper there, okay? To create the illusion. I can't reconfigure the wall there, but I'm going to make it look nice and straight, straighter than what you're looking at here. And for that, I don't want to use a lot of paint. Oh, and you don't want to move the tool around that much either. Okay. Oh, my tool just moved. Let's see how that looks. Okay, okay. I can live with that. I can do that. I can live with that. Okay. Let's see. How's that? Let's see now.
Garage.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Okay. You're the judge. Let's take you up here and show you how it looks. Okay, almost done here. For this side, I opted to use a little tape. I don't have to, but you can do it like this. And I used a very tacky tape, which if you don't leave it on long, you can do it. I'm using a little clear caulk so that no paint gets under my work there. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we can get that off. Okay, so I don't want to push too hard in that corner. I just push and then pull the paint. You want it to look gorgeous at the end, right? You don't want to do a sloppy job. You can be rougher here. Okay, I got rid of the mess in that corner. There was a piece of wallpaper sticking from the wall onto the corner. This video is just to show you brush control and being able to paint trim with a brush without using tape and without getting it on the wallpaper or the wall above it. You just have to go slow, use the right brush, and use good paint. And that's more than half the battle. The rest is just trigger control, so to speak, breathing control. Don't move too much and don't try to get too much done in a given time frame. You want to go slow with this.